JBL called Extreme Rules 2013 the most extreme rules that has ever been, made since ever existing in the world ever. You know what I mean. And it wasn't. It was not. It wasn't bad. It just was not, extreme at all. Not really. Not as extreme as what Vince McMahon had claimed. He was scared about everyone getting injured and it being TV-14. They didn't really do much to utilize that.
And you could also tell that they were also worried about getting injured as well.
Which is fair enough. It is fair enough, but when you've got something called Extreme Rules, you've got to actually deliver some sort of element of extreme. Otherwise, it's very contradictory to the title. Let's start with the pre-show.
The pre-show was Miz and Cody Rhodes, and Miz defeated Cody Rhodes using his figure of four leg lock.
I felt that the Miz was a bit, blown up. Like in the middle of it, when I watched it, it could have been like him selling, I guess, but it did feel to me like he was a bit exhausted, couldn't keep up with Cody Rhodes. Nothing against the Miz or anything. He's definitely proven himself in recent years with not coming from a reality kind of star to an actual, genuine, proper wrestler, and that he's good.
Yeah, Miz has grown on me. Like this time last year, I hated the Miz. Now I quite like the Miz, and this was a pretty good match overall.
It was a really, really good match.
It was straight to the point as well. So
it definitely got me psyched up. Normally I don't tend to bother with the pre-shows, but since it was there, I've figured, well, let us watch it. The next match was Jericho against Fandango as the proper first match. It was better than their WrestleMania, I believe. In my opinion, I should say.
Yeah, they did a lot more in this match than they did at the WrestleMania one. Like they had like a lot more like moments in this match than they did at WrestleMania. It almost seemed like they just didn't really try at WrestleMania.
This was a non-stipulation, just a one-on-one. Jericho, I liked how Jericho was all cocky at the start, kind of like he wasn't impressed with Fandango. He was just kind of like relaxing on the corner. I never understood how the corner would be comfy.
Yeah, he was showing that he was like bored. He was like had his hand on his cheek. He was like, "Oh, come on, just get in the ring already." I liked that also.
It was a good match. I felt there was a little bit of a confusion thing. I figured we might as well like say this with the kitchen sink kind of like looked like, but for most people that would have ruined the whole entire match for them. But no, it was a brilliant match. Good way to kick it off.
And then it was the United States Championship match. Dean Ambrose was against Kofi Kingston. Dean Ambrose is the new United States champion in a really good match. It was also another match that was straight to the point, and it was really quick.
Was really quick. I didn't expect Dean Ambrose to actually win the title. I thought the Shield were like they had been proven dominant, throughout since being there, but I didn't expect them to get gold.
Yeah, you thought that it was going to be like some sort of upset victory, because especially when the Shield were like they walked away, like it was just a one-on-one match with Kofi Kingston.
It was quite refreshing how like they could have just gone the easy route and just been like Shield come in and attack them, and it would have been just like that. It would have been all done. But no, this was a really good match. I thoroughly, actually did enjoy it like a lot more than I was actually expecting, really. The next match was Sheamus and Henry in a not very, it was an okay strap match, not brilliant. There's no problem with the strap match is it's very limited.
Yeah, like especially with like the current product, like you can't like really do much with the strap. Like you can't choke them because that's what got Daniel Bryan released about 3 years ago, and you can't really do much else with a strap. And I also I understand the whole like touching the corner sort of thing, but it's just I also find that a bit stupid as well.
I wasn't. I like the ending. The ending was really good when Sheamus managed to jump over Henry to finally get it. But a lot of it was a bit. Yeah, it was just really boring. It was a shame, but they did well for the very limited Like, they weren't allowed to you wouldn't be allowed to do an awful lot, but it was all right. It was very meh.
And then it was, in my opinion, the best match of the entire show. Alberto Del Rio defeating Jack Swagger in an I Quit match to become number one contender for the World Heavyweight Champion. He like this was really good. Like I quite liked it. It should have had a bit more time, and they should have done a little bit more than they did. But it didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't do anything like that. And I also liked the finish. Like I know lots of people wouldn't like the finish. It's like, oh, using like replays or it's stupid and stuff like that. But like I thought. I don't mind them doing that. It's different.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be. I was expecting the finish to be different. I thought, like, I was hoping that they wouldn't play that same old, like, the voice, someone else's voice says "I quit," and it's like, oh, that's not it. But yeah, I liked this match. Could have done a bit more, as you just said. But yeah, the next match was the Shield against Hell No for the tag team titles in a tornado match, which I used to think tornado matches were basically, on the games, where you basically let a tornado out of a cage and it just causes riots. That's kids' for logic for you. Really, really good match. I actually really enjoyed this. The fact that that was that high spot where the big guy from the Shield, what's his name?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns picks him up in kind of like in a kind of a torture rack position, and then Seth Rollins jumps and Daniel Bryan that looked like such a painful move. That just looked like horrible, like not in a bad way, but very violent. Like it made me like it was really really good. I loved this match. This match was really good, and Shield won the titles.
Yep. Then it was an Extreme Rules match between Randy Orton and Big Show. This was all right. Like it started off really slow. Like Big Show, like all Randy Orton would do is take out kendo sticks, hit Big Show, and then Big Show would catch his kendo stick, snap it. He did this like 2 more times, I believe. But then the match picked up, and they even involved a ladder where Big Show stupidly tried to do a frog splash on it.
It was you could have done a lot more with the Extreme Rules stipulation. I felt I was complaining through majority of it, but it was all right. I was just complaining. It was the fact that it was just the same. I can understand it was a bit more extreme than the I Quit match, but not by much. I mean, Big Show snapping the kendo sticks on his legs and stuff like that was a bit. He did it twice. It was a bit too much. No. I thought it wasn't offensive. It wasn't an offensive match.
Randy Orton defeated the Big Show.
And then it was John Cena versus Ryback. Another match I complained all the way through, because throughout this whole pay-per-view, you're hearing this from the post, like from people who are going to be doing the post show, like the girl, Wade Barrett, Titus O'Neil, and Mick Foley, about how John Cena's got a sore heel.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a really sore heel. Is he going to be able to make it through this? He runs down to the ring and starts picking Ryback up. He's got a sore heel. This really winds me up when this happens, because this always happens.
Yeah, John Cena didn't really sell the heel. He ran down to the ring, and I'm pretty sure this is also a legitimate injury. So how on earth can he run down to the ring?
You had JBL saying over and over again, oh, John Cena's more hurt than he makes out. Just irritating. I was moaning for it the whole entire thing. I mean, with the whole John Cena thing, I don't hate the guy. I just get really wound up with the fact that he finishes off a match and runs about like he's it's nothing. He doesn't care. It's just like, yeah, I've won a match. In the end, it was a good match. If it wasn't for me being told over and over and over again that he had a sore heel, and JBL saying he's more hurt than he makes out, I would have liked this. I mean, Ryback also didn't really sell the table spot either. But you had a
yeah, Ryback's built as a machine, and it's somewhat that wouldn't really face him, really getting put through a table. Like you'd have to do a lot more, and like the finish was also all right. It was just a typical kind of WWE style finish to last man standing that's continuing a feud, and it was a draw.
And John Cena even jumped off, did a table spot, which
drop.
An elbow drop. Yeah, he did. And it would have been, I wasn't wanting him to climb up to the moon and jump off it, but it was a bit, it was good for what Cena could do.
And then it's the main event, the steel cage match, Brock Lesnar against Triple H. This match was all right. I'm not a big fan of cage matches, really. Like, I find them really boring, but I quite liked Brock Lesnar jumped right into the cage, smacked his knee off the cage, and he was limping. He was selling the leg. It was either him selling or it was a legitimate injury. But I liked the fact that he was favoring the leg. Like when he had Triple H up for the F5, he was like hopping.
Yep. And then Triple H found a sledgehammer up from the top of the cage that was camouflage.
Yeah,
that was a nice.
Yeah, it was painted grey.
Also, say my knee, Paul, my knee. It was. I thought the whole match this match was a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah, it just started. It was like just a brawl, and it was back and forth, and Brock Lesnar won. And I also quite like the finish, like what he did at the end. He he put the sledgehammer on Triple H. He kind of did like a whole Undertaker sort of pin thing. He just put his arms, crossed his arms, and it was that, and that was pretty good.
It was pretty symbolic. Miscellaneous stuff was the promo with AJ and the other person, Caitlyn. Quoting Porky Pig.
This is to do with her secret admirer storyline, who I think is AJ playing a joke on her. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, you little scoundrel! You little rascal person. It was just the fact that when they started fighting each other, you had the Bella twins round them pointing, and was it Eve that was there as well?
No, I couldn't I didn't know who the other person was.
Bella twins were definitely there pointing, saying, what? I'm fighting, what? It was just daft. It was just, but I was, this pay-per-view overall wasn't offensive. It was okay.
But I didn't like it nearly as much as I would think. It did disappoint me, but it's only because it wasn't nearly as extreme as I thought it would be. And it's it was a good show, but it's like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good. If it was a normal show, it would have been brilliant. Yeah. But just for what it was built up as, it's a disappointment.
Well, so I think that is us done. Yeah, not bad, just not great. It flew by as well. It did fly by. I mean, it wasn't too boring that you sit there and you're like, oh God, when's it going to end? Anyway, I think that's us done. We will see you. Bye bye.